Hello, welcome to CHEMS, Careers, Hacks, Engineering, Mindset and Stories. Today we have with us Allen Lockwood, project lead at Heidelberg Materials, where he's helping drive one of Canada's most high-profile CCUS projects. With nearly 20 years of experience across design, site execution, and project leadership, Allen brings both depth and practicality to every project he leads. Thank you so much, Allen, for accepting my invite.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
So maybe we could start with a little more detailed introduction and like what got you into the CCUS space and about your current role.
For sure. I guess about 4 years ago, I started getting into more of the renewable side in engineering. I come from more traditional oil and gas mining type work, that's done in Western Canada. Nothing wrong with that work, but executed some large scale projects. It was a lot of similarity, a lot of the same type of projects, executed multiple times in kind of a brownfield and greenfield space. And I was lucky enough to get involved in some front end work on some really interesting renewables jobs, some that dealt with Fischer-Tropsch technology for syngas, as well as some other projects within the Edmonton area that really started piquing my interest in renewables. And when I saw the opportunity for CCUS, I knew it was something I had to try. So it's just something different. It's a new challenge. I didn't know that much about it. I had to do my own research prior to starting at Heidelberg, but I think it's the right direction. So
But you have worked across like design and engineering
yes.
and now carbon capture. So how has all these experiences help you like manage CCUS? And since it's a new space for you, like how are you able to like learn more about it and like get into that space?
It's a very good question. I think I'm kind of lucky in the sense that I have a lot of brownfield and greenfield experience to bring to the table. So a lot of these plants, you're dealing with a new facility tied into an existing facility. That has challenges. Those are brownfield typical challenges that some just don't have that skill set quite yet. There's a lot of focus on the big plants, the CCUS portion, not maybe so much on how it integrates with the existing facility and the challenges that happen there. So I think that really is something I feel like I've brought to the table, and some practical real world construction and engineering know-how that I've been lucky to gain through mining and oil and gas type projects over the last 20 years.
So like what does like a typical day as a project lead look like for you when you're working? Like what are the different tasks you do and what are the different skill sets? And
typically, I guess it depends on the varying phases of the project. Early on, as you know, we have 2 pilot plants at our facility in Edmonton, at the Heidelberg Cement facility. And the first few months of my, I guess, start to this CCUS adventure was trying to get these pilot plants installed. So initially, early on, it was a lot of kind of going back to my roots in construction, things I really like to do, things that I think our team really likes to do, which is troubleshoot problems in the field and start something really neat, which was piloting, because we knew it was, going to be a kind of one of the pillars of success of our project. So that early on, that was just going back to core kind of construction work, engineering know-how. But as we got into the competitive feed process on our project, it was definitely more management of a lot of our vendors. Because we did have a competitive feed, so it was a lot of coordination, a lot of communication. Your typical meetings, maybe engineering management personnel within our group and within each of our bidders, just managing them on a day-to-day basis, but involvement in HAZOPs as well. A lot of model reviews, typical, I guess, feed level engineering type work, but sprinkle in a lot of this. This is something that very much is new to me. A lot of media engagement, a lot of conferences, a lot of PR type work. that is,
Getting the word out.
oh yeah. And I think I definitely think that was kind of one of the success factors to getting to where we are right now with our project, was just getting out there, making the community aware. I think the CCUS community is pretty small.
It is.
There's not
It's
too many,
growing.
like when a new project comes up, I think the world knows about it within days. So yeah, it was interesting getting out there, getting interacting with the public a lot.
Mhm.
There's definitely an element to that. And then yeah, you're just more formal, engineering type work, making sure that the design basis that we set out for the
Mhm.
facility was met by both bidders.
So,
Um,
like, if you had to explain about the Edmonton project, like in just like if for someone who doesn't know and very short, like in 30 seconds, so how would you explain them? Like, what is the Heidelberg Edmonton project, like the CCUS project?
it is going to be exciting. That's that's just really that's the first thing that comes to my mind. It's exciting. Um, we're looking at removing the equivalency of a few 100,000
Mhm.
cars worth of CO2 emissions, from Edmonton, from a city, a project within city limits,
Mhm.
first of its kind, full scale carbon capture facility behind a cement plant. So it's exciting. It's new. It is challenging.
So,
Heidelberg's done this at not quite the scale of
mhm.
Edmonton, but Brevik, Norway is that facility is world class.
Okay.
So Heidelberg does have experience with it, and we're looking to bring that full scale to Edmonton.
So, like the Shell project is quite successful. So, would this also be quite successful, like the Quest project at Shell?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think so. I mean, we hope so. We have to get our project there. Um, but it's going to be world leading. Heidelberg has a commitment,
Mhm.
decarbonization commitment, that is at the core of what they believe the future is
Mhm.
for cement. And they look at this, they see a long game to it. It's not simply just a short game. So
So, like, obviously, there's going to be a ton load of challenges every day, but how would you like overcome these challenges? Like, what do you do to get over these challenges, especially with since it's a new project? How do you what do you do to like overcome all the challenges faced?
the people, the team. It's
Mm-hmm.
who you surround yourself with that determines the outcome of a project.
Makes sense.
So you have to have a depth of knowledge, and a depth of knowledge that spans, on our project is we have PhD level
Mm-hmm.
process engineers, and we have you know construction managers, with brownfield experience. Our director is one of few to have executed, the Boundary Dam project, as well as our engineering manager. So we have that very broad
Mm-hmm.
sense of theoretical knowledge mixed with real world expertise, boots on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
fixing the problems of one of the only other full scale CCUS facilities in the world.
Makes sense. So, like, suppose if an engineer was interested in going into the CCUS space, like, what skill set would they require to get into this space?
I think ingenuity, challenging the norm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, the pieces that make up a CCS facility are inherently the same as most petrochemical facilities. Um, it's that isn't as it's not very
Mm-hmm.
complex. The chemistry side of it is. I don't want to belittle that. We have our project again. We're lucky to have a lot of expertise in that area as well.
Okay.
But it's thinking outside of the box.
Okay.
The challenges that we've discussed, over the past 6 months, um, just bringing a new thought process to it, bringing new energy
Mm-hmm.
to it is what's needed, and challenging, like I said, challenging the norms. Just because it meets, as an example, codes that we traditionally use,
Mm-hmm.
in engineering, while yes they work, are they what we need to get these across the line? We just
Okay.
have to really challenge the process and what it takes to build one of these plants, because there's been a lot of feeds, a lot of theory, a lot of tries from a lot of companies, but we're
Okay.
still not getting there. So I think we just need the fresh perspective and ways to help make it challenge its business case.
And like since now there's like a lot of grads and new grads, and they're also looking to get into the clean energy
Mm-hmm.
space, like what advice would you give them? Like what should they learn, or like how should they try to get their foot inside the clean energy space?
Oh boy, that's such a, like, relative to just CCUS or like the whole.
Like maybe CCUS or like the whole, like what advice would you give to any new grad out there?
Just do your research
Mm-hmm.
on the projects that are available in the market from all
Okay.
phases, and do what you've done, which is reaching out to the people that are on the projects. And it can be
Mm-hmm.
challenging, maybe not everybody wants, but to discuss them, but just be persistent. Get
Okay.
in there, ask the questions, find the companies that are involved in these projects
Okay.
to help get your feet, like, just get in there, because there aren't many, but being a part of every single, maybe small parts here and
Mm-hmm.
there, is going to help for sure. And just don't give up. Just keep looking. I looked for a long time. These projects don't come along
True.
that often. The success factors are not that great, and that's just, broadly through the whole renewable sector. It seems
Mm-hmm.
to be that way. But every once in a while, a couple will land, and I think a lot of, really, that's an opportunity to try and get
I
experience.
keep
Just be
looking for
targeted.
opportunities.
Yes, yes. Whether that's on the front end engineering side
Mm-hmm.
or otherwise, like, I tend to lean more towards construction and the real world, trying to fix problems in the field. So
Makes sense.
yeah, just watch, and always be watching, and listen to the news and find out what's out there.
Makes sense. I think my last question would be like, why do you think the CCUS is important right now? Because I know a lot of people are not thinking about it and it's still growing. So, like, why do you think it's important and we need to focus more on it?
Um, I That's a very broad question. Why do I think it's important?
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe it's a path to the future, utilizing skill sets that we have from multiple industries to solve a problem,
Mm-hmm.
um, that is very prevalent in the world right now. So yeah, yeah, it's believing in it. I
Makes
think,
sense.
yeah, there's definitely a future there, and I think we have the skill sets, specifically within Alberta. I'm just going to boast about Alberta's capabilities to do it at scale, and help solve a problem.
Makes sense. Thank you so much for your time, and that's all I had for
You're
today.
so welcome.